In the NBA, they've been down at their main camp down there in Orlando at Disney, and I'll tell you what, they're golfing, they're fishing, they're playing some basketball. They got DJs in there. They're video gaming. They're playing ping pong. They got a lounge. They're talking. They're mingling. But the one thing that they just can't do is what they're learning. There is an Achilles heel for everything. Okay, you can have a complete biodome and you can think everything through. Adam Silver said, listen, we broke this thing down. We won't even have servers that work at Disney that'll be breathing the same air as the NBA players if they leave and come back. We'll have Disney workers that are there that'll stay there the entire time. They will be mingling with the NBA players, but if anybody leaves and comes back, they will be on lockdown. They will not breathe the same air. Then all of a sudden, I think the NBA players, while they're out fishing, maybe seeing different sides of ponds and trees and holes and gaps in security. They're like, wait a minute, think we can maybe get a lady down here if we have to. They already start sending their shot, shooting their shot. Some girl in, I think, California tweeted that she's already been invited down to the bubble. There's no way this season happens. That obviously captivated the internet because we thought this was a biodome a la Pauly Shore.
Yep.
That's his name?
Well said, yes.
Yeah. Great movie.
Mm-hmm. Great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Hey. People should watch that movie a little bit more, I think, and give it a little bit more respect. But that's what we thought it was going to be. Then we hear there's getting invites, so then you're like, oh, there must be a little bit of a crack in the security then. If they think they can get somebody in, there must be a hole in the fence somewhere. They must have one of those Pablo Escobar jails or down there where you can kind of control who comes and goes and who's kind of. So that was a very interesting thing. And then now we're learning just last night or yesterday, players about to have to lock it down. DoorDash got in there somehow. Uber Eats got in there somehow. Postmates got in there somehow. And Richaun Holmes announced that he accidentally crossed the NBA quarantine boundaries to meet a food delivery person and must quarantine for 10 days as a result. Okay, so for 10 days, he's got to lock himself in his room because he somehow figured out a way to get a Postmates delivery person there. Whenever you're at training camp or whenever you're anywhere with a team in the NFL, they have cops literally outside of the dorm. Now, granted, there has been players that have got out somehow, and it's always a legendary stories when you're like, oh, old buddy was out last night and came back in. It's like, how? There's cops everywhere. Well, sometimes cops fall asleep. They're like that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then whenever you're at a hotel and you're staying at a hotel for like an away game or a home game, they have literal security guards and cops at the end of each floor, so you can't even get out. So the fact that these dudes were able to, or Richaun here was able to just get out and go meet an Uber driver or Postmates or whatever it was, and then just walk right back in. I mean, there is already a leak in the system right there. What if the food can come in? Okay, what else can come in? Feels like they could be letting some COVID in at some point because they tested everybody. Only 2 players that have been down there have tested positive. They locked them down for 10 days. Russell Westbrook, James Harden. Now, James Harden, it has not come out that he had COVID, but he and Russell Westbrook were working out together. Russell Westbrook said that he had COVID. That's why he's not with the team in Orlando. So he's not even getting there. They've been very secure about the COVID. But I can tell you what, NBA, I think you have some holes in the dome. And that is something I think all sports are hoping that they get them tidied up. Because if COVID gets in there and starts wrecking shop, the NBA will go down. And if the NBA stops, what else happens? Every other league stops probably because of things happening. And that's what the NFL has to watch as they think that the rookies are checking in for the Chiefs and Texans on Saturday in these next couple weeks of conversation. For the good of sports, we need the NBA to work. For the good of sports, we need the NBA to work. So if you're a food delivery person, if you're a lady who has potentially maybe fornicated in the past with somebody down there or potentially in the future, and NBA players, I'm sorry I have to be this guy, but we need this for the state of sports.
Need it.
We need those humans not to go down there, okay? We need them not to go down there. Listen, food delivery person, you already know you're not supposed to be here, okay? You know what's going on.
It's a bubble.
It's a bubble.
Don't accept it.
Just don't even accept the order. Maybe Uber should turn off DoorDash, Postmates. They should just turn off the NBA. How about they just turn off the NBA and all that? But it feels like with humans in there, and this is supposed to be 35 to 40 days now, and we already know there's a couple little holes. There's no way they could have biodomed the whole thing, even though it seemed like they were able to do that. What are the chances the NBA finishes? We have questions.